Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. I came across True Crime Live talking about the missing Jack O'Sullivan who went missing in the Bristol area. So Jack O'Sullivan is a university student who went missing in Bristol, UK in the early hours of March the 2nd, 2024, after a night out with friends. Despite extensive searches and appeals from his family and police, his whereabouts remain unknown. The police believe that he may have went into the water. He texted his mother around 1:52 a.m. to say he was getting a taxi home, but left the party around 2:50 a.m. and began walking in the Cumberland Basin area. The last confirmed CCTV sighting showed O'Sullivan walking across a grassy area at the junction of Brunel Lot Way and Brunel Way at 3:13 a.m. in the morning. Other potential sightings were reported in the area shortly after. At 3:24 a.m. he called a friend still at the party, and when the friend called back 10 minutes later, the line went dead after O'Sullivan said hello. That could have been, like I said, his answer phone saying hello there at the end of there, not really him answering his phone. O'Sullivan's phone remained active on the network until 6:44 a.m. Showed his phone in the Hot Wheels Cumberland Basin area, but police have not been able to determine his exact location. Avon Somerset Police launched an investigation and conducting land, water, and drone searches and reviewing over 100 hours of CCTV footage. The search has been supported by multiple agencies and dedicated Find Jack Facebook group with tens of thousands of members. In September, obviously this month, a mystery donor offered £100,000 reward for information leading to the discovery. The family had previously offered £20,000 reward, which led to fraudulent ransom demands. 1 year after his disappearance in March 2020, police renewed their appeal for information, urging the public to remember the details of that cold, snowy night. It is a very, very bizarre case in that he's disappeared from the face of the earth and someone knows something. And I believe, like I said, when the private investigator went to obviously interview people at the party, he seemed to come up with a lot of good information where Jack had an altercation with someone at the party, and the police didn't really investigate it as much as what they should, to be honest with you, because it was just deemed as a missing persons case, and they think he went into the water, but there's no proof that he did. Let's get straight into this, people.
Can be some of the most frustrating to look into because most of the time there's no conclusion, there is no answers, there is no end. That's the case with the mysterious disappearance of Jack O'Sullivan.
Definitely
Jack
mysterious.
O'Sullivan is 22 years old and disappeared on the 2nd of March 2024 in the Hot Wells area of Bristol after attending a house party. What we know from his mum is that it was quite late, and it wasn't until 5 a.m. when his mum said that she woke with a start. She went to Jack's room and realised that his bed wasn't slept in and the light was still on, that something was wrong. She got a track on his phone, she went out, and it wasn't until 7 a.m, after hours of looking, he was nowhere to be found, and they decided to call the police. They then told Jack's mother to wait 12 hours and call back. But surely that time is crucial.
Very.
And that's exactly how Jack's mother felt. She decided to call back and file the missing persons report. Now, at the beginning of the investigation, the police combed through hundreds of hours of CCTV footage, and they found footage of what they assumed was Jack walking around the Plimsoll Swing Bridge area, as well as the Cumberland Basin. And from this information, from this CCTV footage, which they had concluded was Jack, they decided that he was drunk and he had fell into the water. And that is what they told the family. So they decided to continue looking. That's when they found the last known
The thing is how can they decide that he was drunk? Yes, he did knock his head at the end of the day, but he was okay enough to call his mum and, sort of realised about the time was getting late. So he obviously give his mum a ring or his parents a ring to let them know that he is okay at the end of the day. So that tells me he was actually mentally with it. And when he was walking around that late, it is hard sometimes to get a taxi because everything finishes and then. But one thing you have to say, basically in that area, there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of people about still, a lot of people, and someone must have saw something.
sighting of Jack. It was 3:38 a.m. on the Bennetway Slip Road, walking into town. And I have read sources that say he was trying to catch a taxi. So in my mind, I'm thinking if he's walking towards town, maybe he's going into town to try and catch a taxi back out. But that's it. He is never seen again. There is no further information. The police said that they had 30 teams searching the area for Jack. They had the dive team who searched the waters and turned up nothing. They had the mountain unit, the dog unit, and the drone unit patrol the local areas trying to find Jack, but still nothing. This is a case that really, really baffles me, because how does somebody just drop off the face of the earth?
Definitely.
With no witnesses, no CCTV footage after that last bit of footage, and he's just gone. Nowhere to be seen again. And that's where the case stands today. There is no new information, no new sightings, and the case remains open, but it's all down to new lines of inquiries. Police are urging you to think back to the night of the 2nd of March 2024 if you were in the Bristol area, especially in the places where Jack was sighted. Jack is described as a slim white male who is 5'10" with brown hair. He was last seen wearing a green/brown Barber jacket over a beige woolly jumper, navy cargos, and brown leather trainers with white soles. I truly hope that Jack's family are able to get the closure that they deserve and able to figure out what happened to Jack. And again, please think about this information, and if you do have any information, please go straight to the police.
Interesting stuff. Let's just hope. I know it sounds sometimes, I wouldn't say tedious to say, but like, you know, obviously someone's put 100 grand up and obviously 20,000 by the family for any news on missing Jack. Let's just hope that it is valuable in the sense it does lead us to that, give us information. I always thought that basically this case was very sinister. And the more I think about it, and I've discussed it with a few people, including Ali as well, that I think he did get into a car. And it's hard to know what happened there, but like I said, you know, if he was in that Bristol area, I think, and something did happen to him in the area, I think his body would have been found. I don't think he went into that water. I really don't, due to where his phone. I know someone could have taken his phone and taken it into, obviously, the area where it last pinged at the end of the Hot Wells area, which is, it is bizarre, to be honest with you, what happened, what we think happened to Jack, because there's really no proof of anything. You know, if you found a watch, his coat, you may have something to go on in an area, but where it was, did the police do enough? A lot of people have questioned that, and obviously his mother have questioned the way the police have dealt with it, and that, like I said, all they can do now is email stuff into the police, and they can't call in anymore, which is quite bizarre. So it's telling me that the police have exhausted all avenues in finding Jack, but they think he drowned and his body was never found. It is bizarre, this case, at the end of the day. It is bizarre, but I'm sure something will come out of it pretty soon. And obviously there was that doodah with the Facebook group, that there was someone said that there's someone in the Facebook group that knows what's happened to Jack. There are people, but I do think it's sinister, this case. I don't think, sadly, Jack is alive, but obviously the parents need closure in this case. And well done for True Crime with Liv putting this video out there, because I think it's very important that Jack is found and this case to be resolved as well, especially if there's any foul play behind it. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Appreciate you.